welcome to the second episode of Get Tutorialized with Magic. And today I want to go through some basic tools I use for my character illustrations in Illustrator. So I'm gonna go through 3 tools today and show you how I use them, some shortcuts that I use to speed up your workflow. So let's get straight into it. Now the first tool I use, well, the first two tools I use are the selection tool, which is right here, which it works basically the same as in Photoshop. Like you can just drag images around. And the second one is the direct selection tool, which I'll explain to you in a minute. And then we got the pen tool, and the last tool I use is the line width tool, which is new in CS5, so you need CS5 or higher, CS5, CS6. Now let's get straight into it. So let me zoom into my canvas. Let's go and start with the pen tool. Now a lot of people always say that the pen tool is hard to use in Illustrator. I really don't know why. The reason I use the pen tool in Illustrator is because your lines are way more smoother, because you can import them as a vector object, and like the quality is way higher. Now I'll go through some basic stuff with the pen tool. So if you click and click again, you have your first line. That's very basic. Now how to get a curve is click again, and then you can just drag it out the way you want, your curve, upwards, downwards, short, very big curve, whatever you want. Okay. Now this is the basic. You also have some shortcuts with the pen tool, and the first one is the same as in Photoshop. So if you hold in Shift, you can either create a perfect horizontal line, a perfect vertical line, or a perfect 45-degree angle line. Now you have noticed that I always keep my pen tool even if I create a new segment. Now what I mean, when I watch other people use Illustrator, when they want to start a new line segment, so they're building a line segment, let's say something looking like this, but it's not closed. What I see most people doing is they go over to the move tool, they click on their canvas, and they go back and they start a new line segment. Now if you hold down Command or Control on a Mac and you just click away, you can keep your pen tool on and you can start creating a new line segment, and you can do this over and over again. Next up, so let's say we're creating a new line segment. You click somewhere and you see it's not right, like this line shouldn't be here. What you could have done is go to your direct selection tool and move it. That's one way. Now if I'm building a line segment and I click, but I see it's not wrong, it's supposed to be somewhere else, you can hold it down spacebar. You can just move it around to wherever you want. So this is by holding spacebar. If you release it, your point will be saved. So it's the same with curves. So let's say we do a curve, hold down spacebar, move it around, up or down, it doesn't matter. If you release spacebar, it will change the curve. Another shortcut is by holding Alt or Option on a Mac. So what Alt will do is it will take control of your outer curve. And what I mean by that is, normally when you don't hold Alt, the two curves are going to be the same length. By Alt you can shorten this, you can make it longer, you can change the angle of it, and it will like influence how your curve will look. Now if you're not satisfied with how your curve is looking, you can always go to your direct selection tool, click on your anchor point, and you can play around as much as you want, which is not possible in Photoshop. So this white arrow key is very important when you're working with the pen tool, when you're working with curves, anchor points, so look, you just select your line segment you want, and you can just drag it around, play around with your answer points. And it's not the same as the move tool. The move tool won't give you control. Like, you will be able to resize it, move it around, spin it around, but you won't be able to take control of your answer points. So now you know a bit more about the pen tool and how it works. Let's look at this option. So you want to go to Window and go to Stroke. Now what it does is it brings up a panel with a few different options. Weight, cap, corner, align stroke, dashed lines, with a few other options for your dashed line. Now let's look at weight. Now obviously you can increase or decrease your weight to whatever size you want. Or you can just type in a weight in the box here, so let's say 20. So pretty easy to use. Now the next one is called cap. You can either select a butt cap, which is this type of cap, so you have to look on the ends, which is just straight. And you have also a round cap. I know you also have a third option, but I don't really know what it does, so if anybody can tell me, just leave it in the comments below. I appreciate every single comment, so just do it. The third option is called corner. Now what corner does is you can either go for a midder joint, I think that's how it's called, yeah, midder joint. And the second option is round cap, which will give you the nice clean round cap. I use the second option, so round cap, round corner, in 90% of my illustrations because it looks way more nice, it's way more calm. It's just my preference, but you can pick whatever you want. Next up is dash line, so let's select this line, hit dash line, and you will see that you can customize almost everything. So you can change the size of the dash gap, then another dash gap. You can change your arrowheads. You can even scale them down to whatever you want, scale them up. An end arrowhead can be something else, can be this hand. So a lot of options. You can align them, and you can even change your profile or just make a new profile, whatever you want. So if you want more info on this stroke panel, just let me know in the comments below. So last but not least is the line width tool, which is Shift W on the keyboard for the hotkey, and I highly recommend using and learning the hotkeys in every single program because it will speed up your workflow a lot more. So some hotkeys I frequently use are V for the move tool, A for the direct selection tool, P for the pen tool, and then Shift W for my line width tool. Those are the basics I use. And then we also got Command or Control R, which will bring up your rulers to drag out your guides, and hit it again to hide them. So those are the basic hotkeys I use. So let's get into this line width tool and how it works. So let me draw a few lines. Let me get dash lines off, and maybe curvy one too, like this. Let's delete this one. Now, as you can see, the line width stays consistent throughout the whole line. Now if you hit Shift W, and you can see how it attaches to the line, and if you just drag it out, you can change your line width to whatever size you want. You can have like a variable line width, which gives a more illustrated and personal effect to your whole drawing. It becomes more vivid, it becomes more living. I can show you this by this cartoon I made a while back for Miss Heart Attack. So as you can see, not every line has the same width, which is a pretty cool effect, I think. So if I go and unlock these layers and copy her, I copy stuff by holding down Alt. So if you select something, hold down Alt and just drag it out. You can easily copy stuff. It's way more faster than going to edit, copy, paste. So And let me give this line with 1. You see the difference between these two versions? This one, to me, looks way more vivid, way more alive, even without colors, than this one. So you can just hit Shift W and you can start doing the same thing. Now what is important while doing this? Every single time you click on your line, it will create a new answer point. So it's important that you don't overdo these type of points, because not only your line will start looking very weird, but it will be hard to control your line and make the flow look real good. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you want me to do something else in Illustrator, if you want some more info on any of the tools I use, maybe on a new tool, just let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it. It helps me out a lot. So next up should be the character tutorial, so stay tuned for that. This was Magic. Thanks for watching.